Yo guys, what is good? Welcome back on the Uncle Sharma channel. That might be the last time you see that pre-stream video. So yeah, hope you enjoyed that. Brozovic laying down Umbrella. Che giocatore. That might be the last time you see that because I might need to switch things up for the new season and get some new content, some new videos going, different type of intro. Yeah, I need to switch things up for the new seasons. And yeah, today, welcome for the last preview of the season, man. It's been it's been a long season. It also feels like it's gone quickly, but it also feels like a really long season. It's weird. But here we are. We've made it until the end. We're alive. We made it alive, which is not a guarantee being an Inter fan, the way that this team really tests your blood pressure, your heartbeat, and your just general health. So it's not a guarantee. So well done for every single one of you to make it till the end of the season. And let me give a shout out to everyone that's in the house right now. Thank you for coming through. 23 people right now. Hashraf Hakimi in the house. What's up? Forza Inter, no matter what. Exactly, bro. We show here we are, Tio. Let's dream one more time. Exactly, bro. We still repping that champions badge, and we're gonna rep it right until the last day, no matter what. Eduardito in the house as well, of course, been a loyal number one from day one. On the final day, we will see anything can happen. After all, yeah, guys, if you guys didn't realize, I am in this camp right here. I am believing right until we mathematically cannot win the Scudetto. I will believe right until the end. Is you can say it's stupid, you can say it's deluded, you can say it's just absolute pipe dream. But I have seen things happen, weirder things happen, and weirder things will happen in football than this. And I don't think it will happen. Like, the realist in me knows it probably won't happen, but I am gonna believe right up until the 95th minute of the Milan game and the 95th minute of Inter Sampdoria, because they're both going to be played at the exact same time, 6 o'clock in Italy time. So I'm going to have both games going on. I'm going to be watching both games. I'm going to be, wishing bad on every single Milan player's touch, and just obviously being stressed about every Inter player's touch. That's just how it is, bro. That's just how it is. I'm going to believe right until the end, and there's nothing you can do about it. If you don't believe, it's up to you. I don't mind. As I always welcome every single type of Inter fan on this channel. If you don't want to believe, don't believe. But for me, I am going to believe right up until the end. Matteo in the house as well. What's up, brother? Victor S11. We still believe going at the stadium. Nice, Victor. Nice. It's still going to be a good vibe. It's still going to be a good vibe at the stadium, and there's some potentially last players that will play their last games in an Inter shirt. So there's going to be a few good buys at the stadium as well. So, and I think just in general, if I would have liked to have been at this game just to, whatever happens, however the season ends now, clapping the team off. I know it's gonna hurt if we don't win the Scudetto. It's gonna hurt, and it's you can't count it as a great season, but for me, it's still a good season. The Supercoppa, Coppa Italia, round of 16, the style of football, everything after what happened in the summer. We were in turmoil in the last summer. So wherever happens, I think this group of players deserve a good send off, and I hope the fans will turn up and give them that good send off, because I think they do deserve it. And a few of the players that we'll get into, that might be their last game in the Inter shirt, I think they deserve a nice little send off as well. Denzel Dumfries hating on his teammate, saying that Perisic will leave. We'll see about that. Rakin, also another one that dreams. King Darian, of course, Scamacca and Raspadori will win us the title. I like it. Come on, scammy boy. Johnny Scams and Raspy boy. Raspadori, an Inter fan since he's been born, since he was young. If you go on his old Facebook profile pictures, you will see this guy repping triplete Inter shirts, like, old OG Inter shirts. He's a proper Interista. Berardi, another proper Interista. Obviously, once I always say, like, people start to give these things too much of a credence, too much belief into these things. Once these guys become professional, it really doesn't matter anymore. But hopefully that gives them that little 1% extra push. And then Scamacca seems like, according to a lot of the reports, he wants to be, he's not necessarily Inter fan, but he sees Inter as his like ideal team, which means he knows ball, because that means he's watching us and he knows that, you know, under Inzaghi he would go to the next level. Sup, Super Copa and Super Cup champ, yeah, the double domestic champion. Shouts out to my boy Snudges. He's gonna have to revise his tweets. Thoughts on the new Inter shirt? Didn't like it at all. Yeah, someone just mentioned it earlier. Alex as well. Yeah, let's pull it up. And let me give a shout out to everyone in the house. Tommy, Nigerian Inter fan, of course, he's believing right until the end. He's been believing since the first minute, and he's going to believe right until the last minute. And yeah, you can just hear maybe Patrick Kendrick, one of the commentators, saying that, you know, Berardi scores for Sassuolo, a lifelong Inter fan, scoring, and Sassuolo have done the double over Milan first time in. Yeah, actually, Sassuolo, they are actually their bogey team. I'm not just saying that to thank you, Adriel. I'm not just saying that to gas you guys up, but they actually are. Like, if you ask Milan fans, that is actually the bogey team, and they did. Sassuolo beat Milan this season at San Siro. Jake in the house as always says #hope, #hope. Hope right until the end, bro. Thank you for coming through right until the end. Joseph in the house. Sunday is going to be so nerve-wracking. Yeah, I think it depends. Like, I mean, it's not gonna be nerve-wracking if Milan score 5 minutes in. Leao, another gift from the goalkeeper or one of the defenders slipping over. 5 minutes in, Leao goal, bang. There's nothing nerve-wracking about that. If it drags on, you know, it's still 0-0. 70th minute, still 0-0, 1-1 over there, and we're winning on this side or drawing, and we need a goal. Then things will start to get nerve-wracking. But if it's gone how it's been going in the last few Milan matches, that by half time, you know, like the Hellas Verona game, they gave like a little bit of hope, 1-0 to Verona, and then by half time it was 1-1, and then afterwards, boom, finished. Atalanta gave a little bit of hope, but you know, you saw that they just didn't have anything in them. But yeah, it depends how it is, but it could be a very nerve-wracking 90 minutes. And yeah, that's the moment that we're all dreaming about. You know, I've been saying for a few weeks now that I expected this to go through right to the last game. And you know, I've been talking about this Lautaro moment, him taking the top off and doing the Aguero celebration. Could be, and that would be the best Scudetto win in our history ever. Like, that nothing would top that. Instant legendary status for Lautaro, instant legendary status for Inzaghi, for all of them. And then the tears of Milan fans, of course, would make it extra good. But it's hard to imagine actually seeing that happen now. Let's hope that them celebrating early jinxes for us. It's true that, you know, Milan fans are celebrating early. You know, those guys were at the bloody Duomo and, you know, packing Milan Center already. But the players, though, you have to give them credit. Like, it's amazing. This is why Pioli is, like, I keep giving Pioli credit since last year. Like, it's such a young team, and they're still, like, they're just so calm and focused. Like, they, even if they go 1-0 down, even if, you know, a player tries to rattle them, they just go. Like, they just continue. They just know what their mission is. Things are falling their way, as I'm saying. Like, you know, players like just like making mistakes, falling over, or just awful defending, like for the Theo Hernandez's beautiful run or Leao's goal. Like, but things that just seem to be going their way, but they are remaining like very calm. They definitely, the way they're playing at the moment, Milan, doesn't seem like they've won it. Like, they're on that mission, like how we were last year. Like, every single match we had that mission. Tommy's going full Nazar mode, or, you know, black eye, black magic, or, you know, juju, voodoo, what do you call it, like just the malocchio in Italian, just every type of like thing to bring bad luck to Milan, and I rate it. But I rather watch our game, to be honest. I rather see our game, because every time I watch their game I just get annoyed, because it just feels like the teams against them are just not performing that well, and I just get frustrated. Yeah, you know, Siena 2010, that's the last time Scudetto was decided on the last match day. Yeah, Milito scored a late goal in that one. But I think, and where we were in the driving seat in that one, whereas here, where, we have to wait for them to lose. Whereas I think in that one, it was just that Inter just needed to win, wasn't it? And then on the other hand, Roma, I think they bottled it, or the day before they bottled it. Eduardo believes as well. Remember, Inter were going to come fourth or fifth. Yeah, I mean, there were a lot of people that were saying that as well, if you guys remember. I don't know why people are forgetting that some people were predicted Inter to be finished even outside top four. So that's why Inzaghi's work and the boys, the players' work deserves credit. What's happening, bro? We always start on the downside. Yeah, I know you always go on the ascendancy. That was when I thought that was the moment that maybe they lost it. If you guys remember, there was I think the last international break, they went to Dubai. It was like Tomori, Brahim Diaz, Pioli, just like the guys that weren't on international duty. They went to Dubai for like this expo thing, and then they were at this dinner where they all started singing, the Pioli's on fire, the defense is terrified. And I thought that could be the moment where, we create the meme where they're getting too overconfident, or they're, just going to be the moment where, we come back and laugh at them. But it just didn't. That's what I mean. Like, this team is doing all the things that you think, don't do this, right? Like, you never saw Inter players doing that kind of stuff last year on the way to the Scudetto, but these guys doing it, and it's not biting them in the ass at all. We got a Juventus fan, my boy Cliff, in the house as well. What's up, brother? Thank you for coming through. One of 4 Inter fans I enjoy listening to. Oh, wow. I feel very honored that I'm part of a 4 very honorable 4 people. I'm guessing the other boys are the Brothers of the World podcast. Yeah, we'll see about this Scamacca. We've been talking about it. It's overpriced, 40 million. If we do win the title, I'm taking a week off work. Do it, bro. Do it. Take a week off work and enjoy life. Yeah, exactly. Maybe it could be Raspadori. That's the tweet I sent out. I thought, because, Raspadori is called the Italian Aguero because of his stature and his size. It could be Raspadori. He could be the one that kills their hopes. But at the same time, we need one of our players to be scoring the winning goal on our side. Bro, let's be honest, it would be difficult to Milan to bottle the title. Yeah, exactly. But I don't want to hear any of this at the moment. We're on a positive stream here. We're on a positive stream here. I think you mentioned this before. This will give Raspadori, Scamacca, Berardi, or other young prospect big publicity if they crush Milan's hope. Yeah, I mean, it's not like one game is going to give them that extra publicity. Like, this whole season for them has been amazing, PR and like publicity. Like, everyone's taken notice of Traore, Scamacca, Raspadori, Berardi. Everyone knew about already. Like, it's just been the whole season is already. But yeah, if they create like that moment where, Sassuolo on the other hand and Inter winning on the other hand, and so these boys are doing something on they could create like a moment that's remembered forever. Like, they can really etch themselves in history, into history, but their own like history as well. What's up, Nicola? Mohammed? Yeah, very early preview. I'm not going to be around this weekend. I'll be back on Sunday, but I wanted to get the preview out of the way. Milan lose and imagine the Aguero moment is Caicedo. Imagine this guy has done literally nothing since he's come, and if he does that again in legendary status straight away, just imagine if it's a solo 4-2 and it's 2-2 now game. The Lautaro Tucu scores in the 90th minute. I don't know about these high score lines. You've seen the Milan games recently have been very low scoring affairs. They don't concede at the moment. They just barely concede. Like, it's amazing. I just don't know how to do it. Ricky Buzz coming through with the Juju as well. Star Wars vibes. Inter will have a very interesting season next year if Scamacca goes to Inter. Juve get Raspadori. I think Scamacca will work better alongside a young, prolific striker in Scamacca. Milan get Berardi. Yeah, I can see that happening. For sure. I think Milan should get Berardi. Like, he would solve their right wing issues straight away. But I hope they don't get Berardi. Maybe it will be Gagliardini. Oh my god. Oh my god. If it's Gagliardini, guys, the memes would just write themselves. They didn't result-wise do well in the Champions League. Yeah, in the result-wise, but they did play well in the Champions League. But anyway, there was a couple of people that were asking about the new shirt. So let me just quickly share my screen and talk about those if you guys haven't seen them. The concept has been flying around for a while, so it's nothing new actually. The shirts, obviously, is footy headlines, is the people that always release it. So it's got this new like it looks different here than what it looked like in the concepts, but it's going back to more traditional route in terms of, just proper, no more snakeskin, no more zigzag as they've been the last 2 seasons, just more traditional stripes for inside. Just the top part, they've changed it a little bit with this kind of almost like a turtleneck type of look. But you can see there's two versions of it that they've got, so they clearly don't know what the final one. So you see this one here's got all black on the shoulders here, and then this one still has kind of like horizontal stripes on this part, which I think I prefer this version over that one. But overall, I quite like it. I mean, this is obviously, you got to take into account, guys, these are like the Tamarro, like these are the bootleg versions. They just released these ahead of time, but they don't usually get the colors right. They don't get like all of the details right. And you can see the badge there, like it just looks proper weird. But it probably 95% of the time it does look very, very similar, very, very similar to this. But the colors will probably change. As I said, I prefer if it was this one here. But yeah, I like it. I like it. I think it looks good. I think there's maybe interaction might have it, but there was the concept that shows. No, they don't. Inter 22-23 concept. There was one that showed like Brozovic wearing it. Maybe. Yeah, it was like this. This looks quite nice. Like a lot more traditional. It's got like a line and almost like this gives it like quite a unique look, this neck. And I think digital bits looks better than Socios. Like, remember how many complaints there were about oh, there's some Pez renders. Yeah, this looks completely different. This is not quite similar to that. But yeah, it looks a lot more traditional, back to the old ways. I like it. There was earlier models that were showing like almost like a V-neck, like a turtleneck. Sorry, not V-neck, like a turtleneck. Which that I wouldn't. Yeah, that looked a bit weird. That looks like it's almost like a winter kit. But yeah, that's not nice. But yeah, if it is that, I quite like it. Yeah. Let me see what you guys are saying regarding this. New kit looks like pajamas. I'm not sure about that. It looks pretty smart to me. Don't know what kind of pajamas you're wearing, Cliff. You need to make a song after just you've made. Mercato is crazy. Yeah, Mercato is crazy. Well, I mean, we already got, Pazza Inter, like anything that's already, crazy Inter. We don't need another song. And I haven't got the creativity of Beppe or the singing voice of Beppe, unfortunately. Yeah, that's the one thing as well. Every time people criticize, as soon as the concept comes out, there's criticized, and as soon as the players are wearing it, you see like Skriniar wearing it or Lautaro wearing it. They're the proper, the player version, the one that's like not like the stadium version, the player, like the Nike dry fit or whatever it's called, like the one that's like super tight. When you see that, when you see them wearing it, it's everyone always changes their mind. So it's always a scandal when you first see it. Yeah, digital bits are going to be the new sponsors. So Socios only lasted for Socios are going to remain as like sponsors, but like the secondary, third, tertiary sponsors are like you'll see them on the website. They'll still do like collabs with Inter, stuff like that. But they had an option, I think, on their contract to extend it, but they didn't use it. So digital bits are going to be taking over next season, and I think it looks a little bit nicer. Although Anthony here disagrees. I think it looks nicer than Socios. I mean, Socios are like, I don't have it here because I didn't get the Socios version, but there's the writing was too much. It was Socios and like the Inter fan token. It was way too much. I think it would have, if it was just Socios, it would have looked nice. But I think Digital Bits has got like a nice minimal logo. I think it looks better. Which positions should the coccarda be put? What's the coccarda? Alan, super. What is coccarda? The back of the kit looks good. Yeah, I agree. Both sides, I think, look good. I've been hearing rumors of Basta Skriniar going out. Hopefully not true. Yeah, don't listen to any of those rumors yet, for sure. What's up, Mo? Dropping by to say hello. Who will be the new sleeve sponsors? I mean, we still have Lenovo at the back. Lenovo staying as sleeve sponsor, the back of it. But I'm not sure if the sleeve sponsor and that Kokarda is the Copa badge. Oh, okay. Oh yeah. I guess they'll probably put that in the middle. That would look nice in the middle, right? To put it like right here in the middle, that would look sexy. The Kokarda. Thank you for Alan to explain what the Kokarda is. Digital bits looks nice on the away. Oh yeah, and then there was the away one as well, wasn't it? Let's have a look at the away one. That one looks to me more like the, what's it called? 1 second. Let me share this screen. It's a different screen. That one looks like a training top to me for sure. I like it, but I'm not like a big fan of it. That one looks like the like a training kit, but I like the concept. If you probably can't see it, but the zoomed in too much there. But if you see that's the world map right there. You see, like, there's Africa, there's South America, and then so the badge is right over Italy and Milan. So, and there's Europe. So it's like, how we're into this whole concept, Internazionale, brothers of the world. So I really like that concept of it being, world map, and then the badge is on Milan in Italy, but the look of it is a little bit like training kit vibe. But it's nice, it's clean, simple color, nothing too complicated. And I like how this is why the new badge was brought in. The new badge is so versatile now. You can change the color of the badge depending on the color of the shirt. So yeah, I quite like it. Justin, I agree. It does look a bit too faded, but again, these are like early leaks and stuff. So maybe the proper versions will be more clear. Maybe there'll be an outline on the map. Argentina, yeah. I mean, it does look like potentially like an Argentina kit. Greetings from the red side of Milano. What's up, Football Drone? Make sure guys check out his channel. He makes like little animated videos, hand drawn videos of like explainers of what's going on in the world of football, or like it's really cool. Check it out. Blue should be a bit darker, otherwise really like our kit for next season. That one looks dope. Yeah, I agree. And now we can move on to Victor S11 said he's going to be at I think Digital Bits are paying more money than Socio, so which is good. Victor S11, he's going to be at the stadium. So one thing I wanted to talk about was, oh man, I even put the banner at the bottom. What am I doing? The banner at the bottom. So there's a few things to talk about before we get into the match preview, which is there's a lot of situations to sort out. And I've created this little graphic to go through it. And these are all the expiring contracts, and then Vidal and Sanchez, they're not expiring contracts, but they're like, according to rumors, pretty much done. So this match could be the last match for all of these players right there. It could be the last match for Perisic, Ranocchia, Handanovic, Vecino, Kolarov, Vidal, and Sanchez. And then you can also add every single other rumor, like you could say Radu, maybe potentially, Dumfries, but in terms of contracts expiring, pressing, contracts, these are the situations right now. And obviously, the one that everyone's talking about right now first is Perisic. I'm not going to speak too long about Perisic's situation. I've made like 2 videos on the situations already. We've even got Juve fans here gassing up, thinking it's already a done deal. Calma, Stefano. There's no done deal. You're getting gassed up by Gazzetta. Tommy says it does jerseys. That for me was the source. Which one? The second one? I mean, I think as soon as if you see Dybala wearing that, Tommy, I think you will change your mind. If you see Dybala wearing that with a little chain, I think you'll change your mind. But yeah, like Perisic, there's been a lot of fake news going around, as I keep saying. Like, there's nothing literally agreed with any club as of now. And then as a lot of Inter journalists have been saying, Simone Tonio, who works with FC Inter News, Tutto Sport as well, there's just, the perception on this situation is completely wrong. Like at the moment, there's no agreement with anyone. Juve haven't even contacted his agent. There's a scheduled meeting with the Nerazzurri, so with the board, and based on the outcomes, then we'll know. Like there's nothing confirmed or denying or agreed with anyone as of now. So obviously it's worrying, but that's the situation. If Inter and Perisic don't agree on a contract, then he's free to choose whoever he wants. Whether he chooses Juventus, I'm not sure about that. As I've said on my previous videos, I'm willing to kind of say this on screen, and the fact that I say on screen means that I get clipped and made fun of. But I don't think he will go to Juventus. He's always wanted an adventure in England. He's wanted a Premier League experience. He was close to Arsenal. He was close to Man United. So I think if he is going to not sign a new contract, it will be Premier League. He isn't happy with how he's been treated in terms of like this contract situation not being resolved until now. We bought Gosens in January. Maybe he feels like they're already planning for life without him, so he feels disrespected, which I don't blame him for. He feels like he should be wanting the money that Brozovic is on, Lautaro is on, which I also don't blame him for. But at the same time, you have to look at it from Inter's perspective. A 33-year-old is in a position where we already have signed his successor. We can't push ourselves too much further than 5 million net, or like we've offered him 4.5. He wants 6. The reports are saying Inter may push themselves even to 5 million plus bonuses to take him to that 6, but that's as far as they'll go. Take it or leave it offer, and I agree with that. Obviously, if he does go to Juventus, then he goes down in estimations and every single Inter fan's estimations, and quite rightly. But I also wouldn't be surprised with Perisic. Like I've said to you guys in the past as well, like when he's put in a transfer request in the past, like when Arsenal came in the January window once, he put in a transfer request, and since that time I started to dislike him, even though he was at one point he's at a very up and down trajectory with me, like on a personal level. Like when we signed him, I was super happy because I was like, finally we signed a dribbler, a guy that takes on players with pace. So I really liked him, and then he was like in the Inter team, but there wasn't really 2015, 16, 17, there wasn't like that much to be excited about. I never really was a big fan of Icardi as a player, so he was actually my favorite player in the Inter team, even though he was super inconsistent. And then under Spalletti, he started to be better, but then as I said, Arsenal came calling, he put in a transfer request, and I was like, no, this guy is not for me. Then he was like super inconsistent. Then Man United came calling. If you guys remember, there was that summer where there was a picture, there was a team picture that they'd taken, and Perisic was like that on the side, like moody, like just sitting off at the side in this pre-season picture, because he was supposed to, Mourinho wanted him, he was supposed to go to Man United, so you could see like this guy wanted to leave twice. And then Conte came in and he said that he couldn't become a left wing back. It seemed like Perisic didn't want to commit to becoming a wing back. He wanted to stay as a winger. So he went on loan to Bayern Munich. He had a good stint there at Bayern Munich. But again, people are talking about his stint at Bayern Munich as if he was like, it's like Ballon d'Or level there. Like he contributed well. He started a lot of games. But at the end, like they had a buy option for Perisic for like 12 million. I think it was like a 2 or 3 million loan, and just like quite a low buy option, and didn't take it. Clearly he wasn't like that good that if Bayern Munich didn't even take the buy option with him. And then obviously slowly became convinced about becoming a left wing back. And then when he came back, I became a big supporter of Perisic again, because I didn't like, I don't know why everyone seemed to be preferring Ashley Young. I was like, just give Perisic like trust. Like this guy is the only guy who can beat a player. I don't know why everyone always disses him. And then slowly started taking over Ashley Young, and he became like the starter. And this season he's just become MVP. So he's had a very up and down career at Inter with me. But as I said, I wouldn't be surprised for that reason, because that he hasn't always struck me as like someone particularly that loyal, to be honest. So if he does go to Juve, I wouldn't be actually surprised. But my prediction is that he doesn't go, especially with his Quadrado. Like over the years, he's had a massive beef with Quadrado. Like, you know, there's a picture of him like choking Quadrado, and like over the years they've had some battles. And finally, it looks like he's actually having the better of Quadrado, because Quadrado's had the better of Perisic over the years most of the time. But you know, definitely the Perisic destroyed him in the last few games as well. Like Perisic is starting to have a better battle with Quadrado. I just don't see that happening. I just don't see that happening, to be honest. And yeah, Kostic, of course he'd fit in. Like, if you guys are following me, like that's the thing as well. If Perisic goes, Kostic, like you got like, if you're gonna get a replacement, Kostic is there. I've wanted Kostic since 2018. Like, this guy's been putting up crazy numbers. I know it's the Bundesliga, but he's been putting up crazy numbers. And if you watch the Europa League final yesterday, again, he was the danger man for Eintracht. He was the one who created the goal for Eintracht. He's got a wonderful left foot. He's not as athletic or quick as Perisic, but he still likes to take on his man. Like, he's still, you know, an energetic wing back. And I think it will still be a very good player to have, you know, Gosens and Kostic have in between those. So 100%. Dybala to Inter and Perisic to Juve. Yeah, maybe we do the swap, as another Juve fan here, George says. Big up white suburban kid. If Gersons work out, we're okay on the left. Just promote Franco Carboni to the first team. Yeah, we'll see. We'll have to see him play first, man. We have to see him play first. I know everyone always gets excited about Primavera players, and then they start treating them like crap, like Di Marco this season. I don't understand why people have started like the people just turn on Di Marco this season. Like, let's see how Frank Carboni is made of first. But it looks good from what I'm hearing in the Primavera, but I've never actually watched the full Primavera game this year. Perisic moment the season was enhanced by Inzaghi's playing styles. He did not look so good under Conte, but also it was you know, it was his first year as a wing back. You know, he's played 30 years of his career, or up until 30 years of age, 31 years of age, he was a left winger, right winger, attacking midfielder, / even striker, and then you turn him into a defender. So, you know, it was a completely new role for him. But yeah, he's definitely taken a step up this season. Tips on how to deal with seeing Milan fans celebrating: just get off Twitter for a while. If you struggle to do it, then just get off Twitter. That's the only tip I have for you. Or block them, or mute them. I don't know. That's the only way I can advise you. We'll have a therapy session, don't worry, Ahmad. Yeah, there will be this summer will probably be a therapy session if we don't win the Scudetto. He played really well yesterday. Yeah, he always does. Jordan loves Di Marco. Yeah, maybe it's not you, but I'm talking about the fan base in general. Like, I feel like they've been treating Di Marco really harshly this season. Just finished my last exam for history. Well done, Marcello. Congrats on joining my stream. Thank you very much. Who's your pick in the market to be the first midfielder off the bench after Hakan / Barella? Oof, that's a difficult question. I'll save it. I'll star it. So I'll go back to this afterwards. I'll come back to this afterwards. Yeah, we'll get into I'll star this comment as well. So we'll come back to the Mkhitaryan rumors as well. But yeah, let me go back to the graphic. So Perisic, so he definitely deserves the send if it is his last match, but we don't know. And obviously, I think the way that a lot of these players will, like, after the match, when they usually have their kids, they bring their kids on the pitch, and they do like a round around the stadium, around the fans, and, you know, say goodbye. You'll see by the way that the players, I think, will react to those, that you'll see whether they know whether they're leaving or not. So with Perisic, it'll be interesting to see. So Victor, keep your eyes in the stadium. Want to see like your feedback. How does Perisic's body language look? Does he look like a guy who's leaving? Does he look extra sad, or is he like really saying like goodbye to the fans as if he's never going to see them again? Or are you going to be? Is he giving signs that, you know, he's staying? Same goes for Ranocchia. He's on one of the lower earners of the team. rumors are that he might not be, his contract might not be renewed, but at the same time, he's on 1.8 million. He knows his role. He knows he's not a starter. He doesn't say a word out of place. He's kind of like the dressing room's captain, so to say, because he's the, after Handanovic, he's the longest serving player in this team left. He always does a job when he comes on as well. So I wouldn't mind actually keeping on Ranocchia as that, third, fourth, fifth choice centre back, sixth choice centre back, but he has to reduce the salary once again. So the reports are that he might be offered another contract extension, another 1 year, but again, a reduced term. So this season, he already reduced his salary to stay on. So you might need to reduce it again to maybe like 1.5 or 1.2, something like that. And then I wouldn't mind keeping him on, but it could be Ranocchia's last match. Forgetting something, we won't see their body language because we'll be celebrating a Scudetto. Hey, Tommy's running that agenda right until the end. Well, I mean, you'll still see, like, after the Scudetto celebration, they still go around, say their goodbyes to the fans and things like that. But yeah, this guy. So yeah, what do you guys make of Ranocchia? Would you guys keep Ranocchia, or would you keep would you just let him go on a free? Next one is our captain Handanovic. So his contract expiring, he earns 3.2 million. So again, similar situation to Perisic. Handanovic. His one, I don't think it is even, I don't know if they've even discussed it yet, but apparently there is an offer on the table at reduced terms. Handanovic, so he's on 3.2. Apparently they're trying to push him down to below 3, 2.5, 2.8. And then depending on, we know Andre Onana is coming in next season, free transfer. Probably going to be the number one, surely. They're going to at least start him in the season to be number one. Is Handanovic going to accept being number two? There's reports that Handanovic is not going to be happy being a number two. So maybe then he just needs to go be number one somewhere else at a lower team. Or is he going to be happy being number two, being more of a rotational number two, not like a number two of like where Radu or Padelli, like these guys would get like one game a season, like maybe Handanovic gets actually like, maybe all the Coppa Italia games, or a bit more rotational, and really being that guy that guides Onana through his, transitional year, being that helping hand. So that's going to be interesting what happens with Handanovic. I would like to keep him on as a backup to Onana for sure, or even challenging. To be honest, that we've seen, some people are not convinced with Onana. Quite rightly, if you've watched him recently, he's not been convincing in the AFCON. He wasn't convincing for Ajax, but I think you need to give him some time to get up to speed again, as he admitted himself. You just need some time to get back up to full speed. Onana, but if you're bringing him in, like we know the goalkeeper situation needed to be addressed a long time ago, so surely he is going to be given the keys to the number one position, and then if he starts to not perform properly, he can Handanovic can come back in. And I've joked about this already, like Hanana making these mistakes, I can see Handanovic coming in like Thanos and taking back his number one spot straight away. Thank you, Matt. Greetings from Rimini in Italy. Nice. Hope you're enjoying those beautiful beaches down in Rimini. Inzaghi said he doesn't like to rotate goalies. That is true, but maybe that was one of the conditions that Handanovic might have if we want to keep him. But yeah, Inzaghi doesn't seem to rotate. But I mean, he said that, but he did that at Lazio. He used to rotate quite a bit. So maybe he's just saying that because he doesn't like to rotate between the keepers Inter have. Let Honda go and try to get Navas from PSG. Navas will be available. Yeah, but again, now that we've got Onana, I don't think they'll make. You see, the goalkeeper position is really one where you try to get away with the least amount of investment possible. But yeah, I've always been a fan of Navas. I think he deserves to be number one at a big club. I think he was disrespected by this Donnarumma signing. I'm not sure when Onana will be announced. He's going to be actually in Milan at San Siro next week for this charity match that Eto is organizing, or next month at some point. Or Dybala actually will be playing in that match as well. But I'm not sure when exactly they will be announcing him. Well, I mean, of course, yeah. Doesn't mean that because of Radu's mistake, you can't criticize Onana. Once you're the number one goalkeeper at Inter, that's it, bro. Criticism is gonna come, but at the same time, we have to give him time to get back to a decent level. But of course, if he's making mistakes, bro, like we're gonna criticize the guys. Like we criticize Handanovic, we're gonna criticize Onana. It doesn't matter who it is, even if it's Filip Stankovic's son, who the goalkeeper. Like there's no like free pass. Like Onana might get a little bit of a free pass in the beginning because we need him to get up to speed again, but because of his ban, but he's not going to get too much of a free pass. You remember when I preferred Handanovic over Szczesny at the start of the season, lol? Yeah, I think again, Szczesny is a great example. Like, Szczesny was making a lot of mistakes at the beginning of the season, but Szczesny is a good top-level keeper, and Juventus fans started to disrespect him a lot. But I think by the end of the season now, he's become, I would put him in like the top 5 performers of Juve season. So even if he makes a mistake at the beginning of the season, you got to give him, time. Even Handanovic, to be fair, the last few months, like he hasn't really made mistakes this season. The end of the season, Handanovic, he was shaky at the beginning of the season, but then he's kind of like sorted things out towards the end. Yahia says Yaranokia is important for the dressing room. I think we must keep. Yeah, he's definitely one of those important dressing room characters. Will Kolarov have a chance to play for some few minutes? Maybe, yeah. You see, like these end of season games, sometimes players get these charity minutes, but I think because Inter kind of have to win, I'm not quite sure. Maybe if we're winning like 2 or 3-0, he might bring Kolarov on, like those substitutions. But because it's really Inter still have to win this game, really. Maybe if like they see that on the other hand in Milan already winning, Inter are winning, then they might start making these charity substitutions. So Kodas, as we said, or even Radu, maybe just to have him someday. Oh, actually, maybe not. Maybe he doesn't want to get. They don't want him to get him booed by the fans. Maybe like Caicedo, the guy that's never got any minutes. Vecino, Kolarov, Vidal, Sanchez, like getting these minutes to say goodbye to the fans. You'll see that. You see that probably being given if we Inter are winning. But yeah, so moving on to Vecino. Vecino is definitely leaving. Vecino is 100% leaving. His contract expires at the end of the season. There's rumors of Lazio being linked with him because Sarri has always been a big fan of him, according to reports. So Sarri is pushing for Matthias Vecino. There was reports that he's already agreed a contract actually with Lazio, but nothing officially confirmed. Vecino played with Sarri at Empoli when in his first experience in Italy. And Lazio do need some midfield depth. They've got a lot of players leaving this summer, Lazio on the free transfer. So I think that one is no argument. I think it just makes sense for Vecino. But I hope Vecino does get a good reception at the end, if he does come on the pitch, or if he does, get like around the stadium at the end. Like, he hasn't been good this season for us. He wasn't really, like last season, he had loads of injuries under Conte as well, and he didn't really manage to contribute much until the end. The season before under Conte he was a starter again until injury. He has got a bit more injury prone over the last few seasons. But then under Spalletti, his 2 years under Spalletti, must be said, his first year was really good. The second year was like, okay. But the goals that he scored those 2 years under Spalletti, I think he deserves a recognition. Like, I know that was ages ago now. It's like 3 or 4 years ago now. But without those Vecino goals, guys, we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't have won the Scudetto last year, because we wouldn't have qualified for the Champions League. We wouldn't have gone on to the earning the extra Champions League money, being able to sign those Champions League level players, improving our team, improving our squad, signing Conte. Those goals, the consequential effect of those goals from that Vecino, La Prende Vecino against Lazio, the goal from the corner, we wouldn't be here without that Vecino goal. So El Mate, Matias Vecino, does deserve some recognition for that. And even in the second season on the Spalletti, he was, if you guys remember, he was the one who made the run, hit the post, and then Nainggolan hit the ball on the bounce. Like, so again, massive contribution to another Champions League clinching goal. And then when we came back to the Champions League, guys, remember, he was the one who scored that goal against the Spurs to get that first win at the San Siro. Remember the goal against the Spurs. So he's got some really big goals over his inter career. Messina, he's been very clutch. So yes, I agree. Not been great recently, but I hope he gets a good send off. Kolarov, on the other hand, yeah, Varmo agrees with me. Kolarov, on the other hand, 1.5 million wage. He reduced it from last season. Absolute flop of a signing, even though he only paid like 1.5 million for him from Roma. But I don't know why we signed him. I don't know why Conte signed him. Like, I thought that he still did have the left foot was still there. Like, you could see some of his switches of play. That left foot is still like a peach of a left foot. One of the best left foots of our generation. And similarly to like Godin, Vidal, Sanchez, like we didn't get the right part of Kolarov's career, but Kolarov has a very respectable career. But we just didn't get the respectable part. We got the meme part of Kolarov's career. And yeah, he definitely needs to leave for sure. This season is contributing nothing. He might be. They were talking about him retiring in the middle of the season. It didn't happen. They were talking about him joining Inzaghi's coaching staff. It didn't happen. But bro, yeah, it's time for you to retire. His hair has been like gray since like 2 years. He looks about 45 years old anyway. Physically, like he's not been on the bench a lot of times because he gets injured even in training. Like there's been like these back issues that he's been having, so he's literally just been completely useless. Completely useless signing Kolarov. Negative as well. Like we remember his derbies have been very negative. Like he was completely at fault for those goals. The derby we lost last year. Even in the Coppa Italia one, that in the end we won it, but he was at fault for the goal on Ibra, and then he did like laugh after Ibra got sent off. But that's probably his most memorable moment at Inter. Yeah, we never got to see a free kick goal for him. He was a bit of a free kick specialist. But yeah, no sleep loss over there. Yeah, he's still sipping the champagne in Suning Center. We forgot about we didn't forget about Lazaro Yahia. I made a video about him the other day talking about how Valentino Lazaro and Dalbert are going to be coming back from their loans. We'll see what happens with those two. And then yeah, the two Chileans, Vidal and Sanchez, now their contracts are not expiring. They still have 1 more year left each. So 2023 expiration date for both of them. With Vidal, so Vidal's contract is funny. When we signed Vidal initially, the first season he earned like 3 million or 2.5 million. Like he earned like really quite a low, 3 million is low, but like a low wage when we signed him from Barcelona because it was like a free transfer. But then it was like but it averages out that he earns around 6.5-7 million over his duration. So it is a big wage, especially for a backup. And in his contract, there's a clause that allows Inter to cancel the contract unilaterally, but they have to pay him around 4 million net. So in gross money, they would pay. They have to give him like 7-8 million, and then obviously after tax, that works out at like 4 million. But all the reports are pointing towards that happening. So Inter are gonna pay him and release him. Gonna give him that money to be released. With Sanchez, they don't have that clause. They don't have that clause of they don't have that release clause with him. So they would have to discuss that. But yeah, as Varmo says, usually there's usually at least like 50% of the salary that they owed to be given in the compensation. But they would have to agree with Sanchez, and with Sanchez he earns a little bit more than Vidal. But they both benefit from the growth decree tax. So actually, to Inter, they are actually like cheaper than they are Like, I think it's like a little tax break they get. But anyway, with Sanchez, it might be a little bit more complicated. With Vidal, they just need to decide whether they want to pay that money or not. With Sanchez, they could even, if there's a club who actually manages to actually agree with him, they could just release him on a free, and then maybe the club is willing to pay him that compensation. But yeah, it could be the last match for those two as well. And yeah, I think both of them, Sanchez was here a season longer than Vidal. First season, Sanchez was heavily injured, but he still managed to, all of his season, Sanchez, when you look at his goal and assist per minute ratio, he's always had a pretty good return, Sanchez. So we've never really got to see the best of Sanchez because we bought Sanchez too late. He's peak Alexis Sanchez, one of the best players of our generation, one of the best talents of the last 20 years. But that was the Sanchez at, Udinese, Arsenal, Barcelona. But unfortunately, we didn't get that. We got the Sanchez that was on the downward trajectory, quite injury prone. And none of the Inter coaches never really seemed to have him as their starter. Conte didn't have him as a starter, and Inzaghi clearly didn't have him as a starter. So, but overall, I would remember Sanchez quite fondly, I think, in my time here. And of course, as Marotta mentioned recently as well, like his goal in the Super Cup against Juventus, very, iconic moment as well. I think that will be remembered for. And Vidal, of course, as you guys know, Vidal FC in the house over here. Arturo El Rey, King Arturo Vidal. Of course, I'm a big Arturo fan, but it's more like just like almost like a banterous thing. Like, I know he's way past his best. Again, like Godin, like Kolarov, like Sanchez, we got Vidal way past his best. But Vidal at his best, one of the best box-to-box midfielders of our generation, trophies-wise for sure, but even performance-wise, when he was at Juve, at Bayern, like for Chile especially as well, like this guy literally, him and Sanchez carried their country on their back to win a Copa America. Complete midfielder, but we didn't get to see that at Inter. We got to see a slower player that tries to play in the same style that he played before, that all-action style, but his lifestyle out of the pitch, Vidal, has caught up with him. Whereas Alexis is actually quite a dedicated professional. Like, this guy's obsessed with his, physique and, trying to stay disciplined. Vidal never quite been that character off the pitch, and has caught up with him, especially with his playing style, similarly to like kind of Nangolan, that all-action style of play. You can only keep that if you're really like a dedicated professional off the pitch. Your body can't keep up with that type of play for long, and that's what we've seen with Vidal. But as I always say, Vidal, that goal against Juventus, the header against Juventus, and then, winning that match-winning performance against Juventus, he is worth, just for that one match, for me, it was worth it. Just to see the Juve tears for that one match, he was worth it for me, Vidal. But overall, he probably won't be as remembered as fondly as Sanchez because he didn't manage to contribute as many goals and assists and probably as many memorable performances in the Champions League. He got that red card against Real Madrid, that penalty conceded against Mönchengladbach. So I think he hasn't had those particularly high moments as Sanchez. But I think overall, again, he's one of those players that people just like to pick on, like, Vidal, this guy, earning this much. But, when you look at the actual performances, he's never been that bad. Apart from the few performances I mentioned, like in the Champions League. I think he's always done his job. And yeah, this season in the Champions League, he was quite good. And then when he comes on, he does his job. And yeah, against Liverpool as well this season, he came on, was quite good in Barella's absence. But yeah, he's been putting up stories. He's been talking about Flamengo or like, Colo-Colo or like other Brazilian, Chilean clubs. So it looks like he's probably going to go to South America. So best of luck to him. But again, hope he gets a decent, send off at the in the last match. So yeah, let's see what happens with those two in the summer. So those two have a question mark next to them of put. So it's not 100% with those two, but I think most likely those two will be gone as well. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with them. Yeah, we've just been having a general chit chat about the contract situations, Eduardo. You haven't missed too much. Yeah, we've never really seen Lazaro play. That's the one thing as well. Like we've seen him under Conte for a bit, and I never thought he actually was that bad. I didn't understand really why we let him go in January. But Conte clearly must have seen something in training that he didn't like. But even at Benfica is not getting too much playing time, and Mönchengladbach didn't get too much playing time, so there must be a reason. So would the money be paid for those clauses be counted for this season? So it depends, like that's what they did last season. Because last season we made that record amount of loss, if you guys remember. What was it, like 200 million or something crazy? But because they chose to load everything on that financial year, so they managed, like, the Conte release, or whatever, the payoff they had to pay for Conte and his staff, the payoff for Jean Mario, Nangolan, like all those things that they just all packed it all in 1 year. So they can do that, but I don't know how they will decide to do it this year. Yeah, we'll see what happens with Scamacca. Let's get into the match prediction or match review now. We've been talking for 55 minutes. Oops, sorry guys, I pressed the back button by mistake there. But yeah, time goes quickly when we're talking. Didn't even realize that we gone so far in. Let's finish off with the match preview for tomorrow. Last ever match preview, guys. Let's see what the last ever predicted lineup is. Oh, goodness me. I had to be for my last match preview. They couldn't. Oh, please, Inzaghi, come on! It's the last match of the season. Don't make us watch Dzeko Lautaro again, please. I'm begging you. Oh, this guy, man. But yeah, no surprise. It's going to be the strongest lineup because, as I said, Inter need to win. So Inzaghi is going to go for the strongest lineup. We know the Dzeko Correa is going to be. I think because it's Thursday. Sky Sport Italy usually their most accurate predicted lineup is usually the day before. So we're still 2 days away really from getting an accurate prediction. But at the moment they've stuck with the usual lineup. And yeah, I agree, Sean. To me, Correa is the strongest lineup. Not in Inzaghi's eyes, but in our eyes, it definitely is. Dumfries is always, in the last few predicted lineups, he's been starting, but Matty Dams has been sneaking in. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Matty Dams coming back in, but I think Dumfries deserves to be starting because he's had a bit of rest now, and I think you'd want to end the season on a high. And obviously, we know I would like to see more of Gosens as well. I mean, regardless of whether Perisic is signing a contract or not, we need to see more of Gosens and him starting to get integrated more into the team. So hopefully, don't give Perisic 80 minutes. Like give Gosens at least 10, 20 minutes, proper minutes. Midfield, we know what it is, and I think we will see Vecino and Vidal if the match is Inter winning and the situation is comfortable. I think we will see Vecino, Vecino's actually just coming back from an injury, so I'm actually not convinced that we'll probably see Vecino. But I think Vidal for sure. We know he's the first substitute usually anyway. And then at the back we know what it is. I think hopefully we get to see Ranocchia as a send off. If it is his last match, if it is Di Marco as well, kind of a send off for Ranocchia. D'Ambrosio's contract has been automatically renewed. He's got another season, so they'll be fine. But yeah, be good to see D'Ambrosio as well if it's the last match. Handanovic, as we said, maybe Cordas might get some charity minutes at the end of the match just to see, as we know, at the end of the season, some players do that. And yeah, hopefully we probably will see, Sanchez and Correa probably finishing off the match if it is Dzeko Lautaro starting, as it usually is. So yeah, not much to really say there, to be honest. That's the lineup, isn't it? In terms of why did they put Ronaldo Vieira like in such a big? Is there something they want to tell us about him? But yeah, no Sensi by the looks of it. Surprise, surprise, shock. Sensi is injured for the match against Inter, which is good actually. Like, oh my god, guys! Imagine if Milan are drawing or losing on the other end. Well, it doesn't matter about drawing. If Milan are losing on the other end, and Sensi is the one who's scoring or assisting against us to like mud us to make us draw the match or even lose the match, I would lose my mind. That would just be insult to injury. Like Sensi, out of all people, the cripple as we like to call him now, mi girano le scatole. Like if I just think about it, like I would go mad. But it looks like, you know, Sensi being Sensi, that he's going to be unavailable for the match. As it says here, Gabbiadini's injured. He might make the bench from what I read, but I think it fits Sensi, doesn't it? It just fits the Sensi brand that he's injured for this match. And yeah, it's interesting to see what we do with Sensi next season. He's another one of those. He doesn't have an expiring contract or anything, but he's managed to actually stay fit. I know he's just made fun of his fitness there, but he's actually primarily from most of the season at Sampdoria, he's managed to actually start pretty much every game. So he's actually shown that he's actually can stay fit somewhat and be a reliable, somewhat rotationable player. But I don't know if the relationship between Inzaghi and him is broken now. I don't know if it just makes sense to just cash in on Sensi. As much as I love Sensi, you guys know I've said many times on this channel, he's the player I've got closest to. I don't get names at the back of my shirt, but he's the player I was closest to getting the name of. Number 12 Sensi on the black Pirelli third kit, if you remember from Conte's first season. I was so close to buying a Sensi 12 kit with like his name there, but the boy is just made of glass, made of crystal, made of paper. Like any fragile material, it's a shame. Sensi will score an own goal. I don't know about that. This guy is ready to mud us, bro, if he plays. Javier says we are going to win. Yeah, I'm confident in the win, to be honest, as Marcello is also 3-0 win versus Sam Milan to lose 2-1. Raspas Kamaka coming through for us, second star. I am confident in us winning. I'm not too confident in Sassuolo doing a job, but as I said, I'm gonna have faith in them. And then lineup wise, like Sampdoria, they actually, like, if you guys saw, they really smashed Fiorentina the other day, like 4-1. That was crazy. Like they've been awful the whole season, Sampdoria, apart from when they played us when we drew 2-2 to them. And they still have Candreva here with, I don't know who the hell is this guy. Like, why did Sky Sports just get your act straight? But yeah, not too much to talk about there. None of their players particularly impress me. This Sabiri guy is an interesting talent who's kind of coming up recently. And obviously we know Candreva, Candyman, he always likes to mud us against us. So watch out for Candreva, of course. Damsgaard has come back from injury recently and he scored in the last match, so definitely want to watch out for if he doesn't start. Jovinko, I know there was a weird signing. I don't think they even gave him many minutes. And Quagliarella, of course, but not too much to talk about there in terms of Sampdoria. Yeah, guys, give me your Victor did buy the Sensi 12K in 2019. What a man of good taste. But yeah, I'm sure you're regretting that now. If you could pick 3 Serie A players to sign this summer, who, why, maybe the best team win this weekend? Forza Milan. Yeah, may the best team win, of course. We'll get into the transfer stuff in a minute. Links to our website. Just type in Sky Sport probabili formazioni. So yeah, you just go on skysport.it and you should be able to find the probabili formazioni here, and then it gives you all the probable formations for every single team. So I use this for my fantasy football. Yeah, give me your match predictions then, guys, and then I'll end it with the question that Otlo asked about, midfielders and ideas for the midfield. I'm gonna go for what should we go for? Sampdoria have nothing to play for. They are safe. We need the win. Okay, yeah. I think I'm going to go with what Mighty Mouse says. I think 3-1. I see us conceding like a sloppy goal where, Sampdoria score on the counter and we're just sloppy like we have been recently on the counter sometimes. And then Lautaro stat pads a goal. One of the defenders, I can see De Vrij screening out one of the defenders getting a goal off a corner, which we haven't done. One of the defenders hasn't scored for a while, I believe. And then maybe a send-off goal. We bring on Vecino, Vidal, and they get like a send-off goal. Or Sanchez, yeah, Alexi's send-off goal. Oh, Correa, man. This guy hasn't scored since October. We need a goal from Correa. Yeah, Correa scoring after he comes on as a substitute. And he used to play an ex-Sampdoria player, so goal of the ex. Nicola says 2-1. Sean says 4-1, 3-2 Sassuolo. Yeah, give me the Sassuolo predictions as well. 3-0, Tommy says. 3-0, 1-0 Sassuolo. It's definitely not going to be 1-0 Sassuolo. There's no way Sassuolo not conceding a goal. They have an awful defense. 3-1 Inter, 4-2 Sassuolo. 2-1 us, 2-1 Milan as well. 4-2 Inter, 2-1 Sassuolo. I mean, I hope you guys are right on the Sassuolo end. I feel confident. Oh, they've updated it whilst we're speaking. Thank you, Chopping Mall. Let me share the... Oh, yeah, look. They've updated it with El Tucu Correa in there. Well, I hope it's true. They did that last time and it wasn't true. The Jacko started anyway against the Juve in the Coppa Italia and Cagliari. Sassuolo game 3-2. Sassuolo 2-1. Milan 0-2, 1-1. Yeah, honestly, like if I speak to you guys honestly, as a realist, I see Milan drawing that game. Like I just see that being like, because that's the worst way to lose it, because it doesn't matter if they win, and that's fine. But if they draw it, that means that we're on this and we win, that we're on the same points, and then they win on head to head. So they win because of that bloody Giroud goal in the derby. So, and I just see that's the most Inter way of losing the Scudetto. So I see like Milan drawing to them like 1-1 or 2-2, to be honest. And even though I do believe, as I said, I do believe I'm not, but my realist inside sees a draw on the other end, just because that muds us even more. Like that would just send me over the edge. Because if they win, Milan win, it's like fair play, better team, better season, deserve Scudetto. But if they win on the head-to-head because of that bloody Giroud goal, or because Lautaro missed the penalty in the first derby, or Barella missed that sitter in the first derby, that would just send me spiraling. But for the sake of it, I'm going to predict that, I'm going to predict Sassuolo beating Milan. I don't know what the score is. Let's just say Sassuolo win. Raspadori, Scamacca scoring. Berardi scoring a penalty, a dodgy-ass penalty, where they start crying and they say Inter bought the Scudetto. And yeah, we win 3-1, as I said. Eduardo says Milan 0, Sassuolo 2. Wow. You guys are hilarious. It's like we're been negative these last few weeks, but today you're all coming to me with these super positive predictions, and I hope you guys are completely right. If Milan wins on head-to-head, it's not Radu, but De Vrij. Yeah, well, that's Handanovic, bro. Again, I don't know how much blame I give on a striker finding a half a yard to shoot on goal, and it was a central shot that Handanovic should have saved. And now also on Lautaro for missing a penalty, and Barella missing a sitter in the first derby. So, yeah, I'll be watching both games, Sean, as I said. They're going to crash and burn, bro. I hope so. I just want Milan to win because Sassuolo being loudmouths. I mean, they're just, they're gonna gas their own club. Like, what do you want them to say, bro? Do you want them just to like roll over? They're gassing their own players. The guy's just trying to sell his players for 40 million plus. Like, it is what it is. The game is the game. And let's finish on Otlo's question about transfer market. Come on, guys. You guys should know. If you're on this channel, if you've known me for years, you guys know who my who my number one target is Rodrigo De Paul. Bring me Rodrigo De Paul, the guy who sends Hakan to the bench. I'm talking about improving the squad. But yeah, as we know, because of our financial situation, that's a pipe dream, probably not true. Today they talked about Mkhitaryan being that vice Çalhanoğlu. Initially, didn't like the idea, and I don't like the idea in general because it's a 33-year-old. Again, we were talking about rejuvenating the squad this upcoming summer, bringing in younger profiles. So I don't like the idea, but Mkhitaryan has had a good season, and Mourinho, he deserves big credit. He's reinvented Mkhitaryan as a mid-Zala this season. So yeah, it wouldn't be too bad as a backup, but again, I would prefer a younger profile of being that backup. I've been talking about, if you guys are watching Ederson at Salernitana, if you tune into Salernitana games, I've really liked, and he's got the Sabatini stamp of approval. He's been really good, very energetic, ball carrying, dribbler, center midfielder, box to box. I think he's 21, 22 years old. Got a good shot on him. Been very impressed with him. Aslani, who's primarily a Vice Brozovic profile, but we've seen against Inter, they played him as a mezzala. Showed promise in that role as well. Enzo Fernandez, he plays for River Plate in Argentina. He looks really, really good. Man City are linked with him. Man United are linked with him. Julian Alvarez, Man City signed them in the last couple of weeks, but they're talking about 20 million release clause again for someone like Enzo Fernandez, complete midfielder. Looks like he can do everything. Amazing distance shooting ability, strong tackling ability, final pass. But that's the problem, guys. We're even we can't even. It looks like we can't even be linked with 20 million euros players or $20 million because when you talk about Argentina players, they talk about it in dollars. To me, that would be the ideal, younger profiles, hungry. They're not the final product. We can't get final products now. You can't buy final products in this situation with Inter. You have to do what Milan did last year. We're buying a Tonali, and you have to give him that 1 year. You can't start moaning after the first year, because Tonali had needed to have that last year where he wasn't that good. Tonali last year, but he needed that year. When you're 21, you need that year, so you can't start crying after 1 year and he's like, oh, it's a flop. So you have to. And yeah, Bayrami and Empoli, I really like him as well. Another Albanian like Aslani. I really like Ricci from Empoli, but we let him slip. He went to Torino for 9.5 million. But the funny thing is, if we go for Ricci, we go to Torino, they will say, 15, 20 million. But because Torino went for Ricci, 9.5 million, bargain. Yeah, Bayrami plays behind the striker, but you could see a lot of those conversions are starting to happen now because there's not many formations anymore. Not many teams play 4-3-1-2 or the attacking midfielder formation. So these number 10s have to reinvent themselves, like Çalhanoğlu has done, like Mkhitaryan just did, like Eriksson did with us. But I do really like Bayrami as well. Yeah, Alcaraz is another one from Argentina. We're linked with Racing Club, the same club that we bought Lautaro from, but they're talking about another 20-25 million release clause. The problem is with these clubs, they don't want, a loan. You can't do loan with the option to buy from Argentina. These guys want money up front, at least 5-10 million up front, and you can, do those payments, over a few years, but you need to have straight cash up front. But we need, as I've said in previous videos, we need to start whether it's Mkhitaryan, these free transfer options out there, but Auxilio, Bachin, who's Auxilio's second-hand guy who goes out, flies to South America, the scouting network. We need better scouting. We need one of these, not bets, not blind bets into young players, but find players that fit the criteria of what Inzaghi wants. We need a ball-carrying midfielder. That's been a requirement of this midfield for a long, long time. Not what Çalhanoğlu is. The DePaul type of ball-carrying midfielder, someone that has difference. So this is what we've missed this season, haven't we? from the bench, Vidal, Vecino, Gagliardini, they don't change the game in terms of they just come in and do a job, but we don't have game-changing substitutes from midfield. So players like, Aslani, Ederson, we talk about Enzo Fernandez, Bayrami, Awar, Houssem Awar from Lyon. They add a different profile. They come in, they want to take the ball, but not just pass it. They will try to, dribble past players. They will be slightly a bit more high risk, a bit more, energy, a bit more youthfulness, a bit more ideas, creativity. Different from Barella as well. Barella is, we know he's a workhorse, but he likes to spam those crosses from the half space a lot of the times. Hakan the same, set pieces and open play is not as good. So we need more profiles that add something different from the bench. So that's what we need. So yeah, I've given you some names there. Otlo, hope you're happy with my name. So we've got, obviously, my dream is De Paul. Then you go, these younger profiles, as I said, Aslani, potentially vice Brozovic, unless we keep Agume as well. Agume looks like he could play the different areas of the pitch as well. Renato Sanchez, it looks like he's going to go to Milan, but that's what I'm talking about, players that add something completely different to Barella, Chala, Brozovic, so they can challenge for that spot. Maybe they're not ready to take that spot right now, but they can at least challenge for that spot properly, not like right now where we know the starting three. And you'll see a lot of you guys, obviously, those Camavinga type of vibe players. Rather Scamacca with Lautaro Dybala. I think it's different. It's a difficult one because it depends. In my idea, what Inzaghi wants is a Scamacca, Lautaro. He wants like two strikers. But I feel like a Dybala, have you seen with Correa, when Correa plays, as we talk about, or Sanchez, we have a more smooth team. It's a difficult question, to be honest. There are some things about, those rumors, guys, as I said, these are top players. Our players are going to be linked with other teams, like De Ligt for Juventus. He's going to be linked with top clubs around Europe. It's just how it is. Don't worry about those links too much. If someone comes from Bastoni, it's going to have to be close to a world record fee. We're talking about close to Van Dijk money. Schouten has been recently linked as well, but I'm not really he's calm on the ball and stuff, but he's 25 already. I've never been too impressed with him. But if it's cheap option, again, that's not too bad. Tosco, he scores a patch. I know he's almost 30. Yeah, but again, this guy, you're talking about reviving a career with Isco. Physically, this guy looks chubby as hell. And you're talking about you need to convert him into a mezzala. Is he going to be able to learn a new league as well, like this? And his wages coming from Real Madrid, those guys earn loads. Ceballos, that was a good link, as a backup. Dani Ceballos had a okay stint at Arsenal. He wasn't that great, but that's a good. He can play a variety of roles. He's a bit of a dribbler, different from what we have. So and we'll see what happens with Agume. Eduardo wants to see him on the bench. Satriano as well. Again, with Satriano, I don't think it makes sense to have him on the bench unless if he gets charity minutes. If Inzaghi's not going to trust him, then there's no point. Same with Agume. These young guys need to play regular football, at least 15, 20 starts in a season. Then it's worth having them. If you're bringing them on as 10 minutes and you just want them to make a substitute impact, then you're hurting them, because then that 10 minutes is so much pressure on them to make an impact, and that doesn't help them. So we'll see in the summer. I hope we go. It's going to be an exciting summer because there's a lot to clear out, guys. As I shown earlier, so many contracts expiring. Vidal, Sanchez as well. A youthful, maybe a rejuvenation of the squad is incoming. Let's see how much input Auxilio will have in the targets. Let's see how much Marotta's free transfer magic works. But there's going to be cost-cutting wages-wise anyway. Again, 10-15% they're going to try to reduce the cost of the squad. So it's going to be a very difficult summer, and then a very interesting summer to see. They're going to have to do magic again this summer. Who's my favorite player from the current Milan squad? It's difficult. I like a lot of Milan players, actually, annoyingly. I love Leao. I love those type of, direct dribbling players. Leao actually was pretty much signed for Inter, by the way. But, we had a Lukaku priority, quite rightly. So there's no regrets on the end. But again, it would have been funny that we had pretty much a deal agreed for Leao. Because back then he was supposed to be like a striker, second striker mode. That's how he used to play at Lille. But we've seen that he's definitely more of a winger. Leao, I really like Tomori. I love Tomori. I really like Tomori. Magnon is amazing. Benacer, I really like Benacer. Yeah, I think I would say those four. Leao, Tomori, Magnon, and Benacer. Amazing. But yeah, thank you everyone that's tuned in, guys. 1 hour, 20 minutes. This is one of the longest streams I've done in a long while. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you're watching this afterwards, make sure you are, tuning back and enjoying. And as I keep saying, guys, this great. Thank you everyone that supported over the season. Channel members, you guys have managed to, this season, we've actually managed to contribute over £70 to the Fondazione Pupi, the charity that is run by Javier Zanetti and his wife. Because every new channel member, I donate the first month to Fondazione Pupi. And then there was that month in the build up to Christmas where I was matching. So I was doubling every contribution to Fondazione Pupi. So actually over this whole season, we managed to contribute over £70 to the Fondazione Pupi. So great work from everyone that's supporting the channel, supporting Fondazione Pupi. So thank you, everyone. And the thumbnails as well. There's been changes in thumbnails this season, you guys. The thumbnails for this video is designed by YassinAdvertising. If you are interested in getting in touch with a graphic designer, very good, high quality thumbnail design and other graphic design work, get in touch with YassinAdvertising. I've left his link in the description below. Find him. I'm learning our voice, guys. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Make sure, come on guys, 1 hour 20 minutes. Make sure you're leaving a thumbs up. There's 47 of you guys. I want to see at least 50 likes to this stream. If you're new to the channel, thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel, sorry. And yeah, I'll see you guys on Sunday evening for the last ever of this season's match reactions. Hopefully positive. Hopefully we're adding a star. Second star mission continues right until the end. As I said, guys, right until the end, we're continuing the second star mission. We are not giving up right until the end. Ciao ragazzi, forza Inter.